whenever really walking around campus and see people talking about politics.
When I do engage with people, they'll talk and we'll have good conversations, but it just feels like something that is not very prevalent.
I think their want to not be offensive or not be seen in a certain light outweighs their want to share their political beliefs.
Sometimes it's very difficult and intimidating to speak up in a lecture where there are over 100 kids and you disagree with the mainstream viewpoint.
People there are like passionate believers in politics.
What I've found is a lot more effective and a lot more fruitful is having like one-on-one conversations.
You're clearly okay with it.
We had a conversation in one of my journals and classes about whether Ben Shapiro should be able to come to campus, and the unanimous consensus in the class seemed to be that he shouldn't come because he was a hateful, racist, and xenophobic and all these things. And so I went up to my professor afterwards and I said, well, if we're not going to let Ben Shapiro come to campus, who seems to be a fairly mainstream conservative, then who exactly can come to campus and give a conversation from the other side?
Today, there's supposed to be a speaker inside of this auditorium that no matter how many people stand in that standby line, there's a more powerful force.
I do believe that he's one of the most prominent intellectual conservatives out there at the moment, though a lot of the ideas that he expresses, I think, need to be challenged, and it needs to be seen like why he says those things and why he believes those things. So that's the value in seeing him multiple times.
That many of his points align with the right wing, the far radical right that is growing in this country.
So I think where it becomes very valuable to have protests is having a conversation with the people who are protesting. I don't really think it gets too much done when people from either side are just yelling mantras over and over.
Racist, fascist, anti-gay! Ben Shapiro, go away! Ben Shapiro, go away!
The general perception of rallies is that they're just to make noise and that they're just people talking and nothing's going to happen afterwards. I feel like if one person learns at least one thing, or one person is at least motivated to act in one important way, then the mission of the rally was successful. I feel like on a college campus, mobilizing is a lot easier than organizing, because one incident of the wrong person using a slur can mobilize, but organizing requires that people become dedicated and really start to feel like this fight is their fight.
Is everyone up on that with the voter identification?
One of the main things I was really motivated towards when organizing the rally and the protest was, I know my people, I know my allies, I know who's going to be there and supporting us, but what we're trying to do is reach out to those people who might feel indifferent towards a person like Ben Shapiro coming to campus. I am from South Dakota and I'm Native American. I'm Oglala Lakota from the Pioneer Reservation.
I was also part of Solidarity Rally, but I don't think we crossed paths.
The Solidarity Rally and the protest was in combatance with the apathy on campus, because this is a very dangerous time to be apathetic.
There's so many people that are willing to go out to a protest, but so fewer people that are willing to call up their representative. That's a gap that we need to address.
There was definitely a lot more energy in 2016, and this time around I just don't think it's the energy is not nearly as close.
The reason why so many young people don't vote in the midterm elections is we see presidential elections as really, if you can say, sexy.
It's I think it's important to vote. I just think an educated vote is more important than a non-educated vote.
Since I'm not from California, I was okay, well, I don't know how to do an absentee ballot, and I don't know how to do that. So that kind of discouraged me a little bit, but now it seems I definitely should be more active on that.
My slogan is like sexuality, politics should be fluid. I think it's important to hear both sides and to understand where someone else is coming from.
I think what I've learned most in the past 2 years is how much I have to have conversations with people that don't necessarily align with all of my beliefs. Having that open communication for me has been a lot more growth, and I am a young person. I am trying to be educated, and I think that desire is crucial to vote.
So to anyone who doesn't deem us legitimate, watch out.